Hey looters, Flutes here. Today I want to talk about how do you want to do this? Do all players love or do some hate to have to narrate their killing blows? Do they like it when the DM hands over the talking stick to them, or do they dislike it? Today on Flutes Loot. Before I get too far, I'm Flutes. Opal is my wife, and we run FlutesLoot.com, where we write lots of D&D articles because we just can't get enough of it. If you also can't get enough of it, bookmark FlutesLoot.com, and you can check out an article that goes along with this video. So, the narration of a killing blow. I used to think it was just a given that all players enjoyed it. It started when I was talking to Opal about this and realized she doesn't actually love that. It's kind of an annoying part of the game to her. So I realized, wow, I guess I'm wrong to assume everyone enjoys that part of the game. Now some of you might say, well, duh, of course not everyone likes it. And yeah, I guess so. But I thought it was at least like a great majority enjoyed it. Turns out I might be wrong. Might be like at best like a 50-50 split. I started asking around on social media and my friends, and yeah, not everyone enjoys this part of the game. Some say that this narrating of your killing blow started with Critical Role, and they call it a Matt Mercer Critical Role effect. I don't believe that is true. I think it's always been around, and it's just kind of been made popular by Critical Role because so many people watch it. Their thing is, how do you want to do this? When the DM says that, you just feel elated that you're getting a killing blow, but not everyone would feel that way. So let me tell you my findings. Why do players not always enjoy this part of the game? Why do they want the DM to handle that? My first finding was that some believe the DM is just better at narration than they are. They don't think they're as good at it, and they'd prefer the DM to handle it. My second finding was that some of them get so distracted by combat mechanics and trying to keep things flowing and use their abilities well and not force the game to like stop and like look up rules like they know what they're doing, and that they're so caught up in that when you stop them and say that role play your killing blow, it's really jarring to them and they don't enjoy it. My third finding was kind of like my first one, where they think they're overstepping on the DM's domain. And this isn't about just like the DM's job is to narrate. It's not my job. That's not what this is about. It's more they feel like they're gonna say something that's incorrect and the DM has to like retcon it. Like if they describe it a certain way, the DM will be like, oh well, not quite that way. They feel like that's the DM's domain. They don't want to tread into too far. My fourth finding was some of them felt like they were hogging in the spotlight when they were doing a killing blow because it's a team effort to take down some of these big monsters that you get a big killing blow description. And they feel like if they're the ones describing a killing blow but they didn't actually do a lot of the work or it was a team effort, they just feel like that's not right. So they don't enjoy that. My fifth finding was that some of them prefer to respect the group's time, and they think that if they're taking up time with a description, they might go a little long, or even even if they are brief, that's still probably disrespecting the group's time. I think this isn't necessarily like something you have to accept. I think people can learn that, this is part of the game and you don't have to fear what other people are thinking or that you're taking up too much time. Just go for it. Like there's that side of it. But in the meantime, people do feel this way. My sixth finding, which is probably the most obvious one, is some people are very disinterested in violence. They don't want to describe anything gory, even like mildly violent. They'd rather just stick to the mechanics and get through combat and get on to other things. It's not that they're triggered, like some people might be, maybe they have traumatic experiences, but some people really just don't care to narrate things about sticking spears through people or decapitating, even if they are horrible monsters. Like they don't like describing that. And then number 7, some of them just draw a blank. They feel like they have no good ideas. They're not good at narrating killing blows. They'd rather just move on. And that's fine. And maybe they'll get some practice. Maybe one day they'll enjoy it. Or maybe they'll just always say, like, I'd rather focus on other things. But they feel like they don't have good ideas for these sorts of killing blow narrations. So those are my 7 main findings. So what do we do about it? One is session zeros can really help with this. If you can ask your players, like, are you into describing these sorts of things? Like, is the action and the violence cool to you? Or is it, like, rather not? It's annoying. DM, go ahead and handle that. You can say what you want, DM, but I just don't want to take part in that narration. Like, that can be a discussion you have. You can also pose the question in the moment of, like, looks like you just killed the monster. Do you want to describe how it went, or would you like me to? And then it's just a quick like, oh, you go ahead if they don't have a good idea. Or if they have an idea, maybe they usually don't, but they have a good idea this time and something sounds cool to them, maybe they'll want to narrate it. And you can take this as a good thing with some of these reasons, where if they think that you as the DM are really good at describing things, and they'd rather you keep doing that, I'm sure it's more work for you, but how flattering that your players prefer to have you do what you're good at. So in conclusion, keep in mind there's probably not one aspect of D&D that like everyone enjoys 100%. Nothing is an absolute. That's why we're not Siths. So don't take anything for granted. Make sure your players are enjoying the game so that you can all enjoy things together. I know that some people say like, well, if you don't want to play in my game, then you can go play somewhere else. That's the attitude of people who aren't usually playing with their friends and feel like they have people they can play with anywhere, or they have a very specific way of playing. The vast majority of people need to kind of make the most of the groups they have, and people can learn. Most people aren't set in their ways one way or another, and if you have these discussions about any part of the game, whether it be narrating a killing blow or flanking or anything, just talk to your players, talk to each other. That really is what it comes down to, and I'm surprised how much people don't do it. Even when they know that's the right answer, they don't. So talk to each other, make sure everyone's enjoying every part of the game, and most of these things are nitpicks too, right? I don't think it'll make or break a game if you as the DM ask a player to narrate when they don't really care. Maybe you can make the game a little bit better for them, and you can become even more elevated as a great DM in their sight. I think we all want to have our players say that we're great DMs, right? What do you think? Do you share this sentiment that you don't really enjoy narrating killing blows, and were any of my findings spot on, or do you have another reason that I didn't think of or I didn't express? And again, you can go to the article I wrote down in the description by following the link in case something I said wasn't clear and you want to hear me expound just a little bit on it. As Gus Johnson says, de-glove that like button real quick and subscribe so that you can keep scrying on our channel and stay informed of the different D&D topics we're going over. We have years of articles we've been writing weekly, and we only have about a year of videos we've been doing almost weekly, and so we have a lot more content on flutesloot.com than on our YouTube channel, but hope you'll check out both. Until next time, enjoy your games, and I'll see you later. Bye.